Hello, still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
A category for advertising slash affiliation in general would be the way could be the play we take for where to look for it. Huh.
Yeah, but actually, I need to switch clients really fast.
So if you could give them their space, yeah. Welcome back.
There we go.
And see ya, Majora. Also, what are we waiting on? Or who are we waiting on?
I think maybe for Rally potentially.
He doesn't seem to be
Definitely.
typing.
We're probably fine on that regard then, unless he magically starts typing.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, that's him in the YouTube channel. And he stopped.
If I may, for a moment, while we're in sort of like this downtime section, waiting for responses, um, there is a very kind of minor issue that I would like to bring up, and it's in regards to the submission guide that we follow. Granted, we
Yes.
still follow it even after we leave DeviantArt. There are some parts of the submission guide that do need to be revised, and maybe it just needs to be remade entirely. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go with this, but I figured it'd be worth it to just put it out there in case anybody has any ideas.
There's also the issue of some dead links, I think, that are on the submission guide as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Pop Fan's speech bubble guide was wiped off of the face of the planet thanks to Eclipse. I mean, there has been a little bit of discussion about making an updated resource for it, but
Well, the submission guide probably needs an update at this point anyway, but I'd rather not be doing that myself because I'm still in my funk.
that's completely understandable, Spaz.
I'd imagine that's what the rest of the admins are for, though.
Yeah. What is it
Well,
that you
but
want to
me more.
say, Omega?
Well, more some more so than others because I don't think many of the other admins have had literally multiple groups trying to like go after them.
Yeah, that's understandable. We could. Hmm. I mean, we could maybe potentially take volunteers to help with the crafting of the submission guide, get community input, and see how that goes.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I just thought of something else.
Oh,
What if multiple people across the Waffles community like contributed their own tutorials to each section of the submission guide?
that's not a bad idea, actually. That'd be pretty good. It would also be a good initiative for people that use Wolfus to really get back into it.
And it would showcase all the different styles across the community.
That's not a half bad idea, Spaz.
All right.
I guess we'll go
I-
with that.
A minor thing to bring up. Spaz, I had to make this change, but on the group's YouTube channel, it had for the longest time listed your name, HTF, and a few others as the channel admins, and that hasn't been true in a long time. So I changed
Yeah,
it to
at
my
least by-
name just to be more accurate. And I'm also wondering, should we remove some people from the featured page or just leave it there? Leave it as is.
I'm not sure, actually. I guess leave it as is. Well,
all right.
actually, if they removed all their Walfus content, maybe, because then
I know.
at that point it's like,
I know
I
one of
think-
them's absolutely empty, so that can be removed. Yeah, sorry, Green Jake, but you're not here with us anymore.
F the chat, boys.
Say that he's dead.
Green Jake
Green Jake left
deactivated
a
his
long
thing
time
a
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah, he's been gone for a long time, but don't say it like he's gone.
Nah, he's probably not dead. He's just around somewhere beyond the sea.
But yeah.
That-
Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that. Should we demote
Oh,
Nora?
Yeah.
She's still on the
I
admin
was
page
gonna
site,
bring
not
that up,
logging
but I
in,
completely forgot.
and left the server entirely. Oh my lord, June.
Oh no, June, you're paying.
What?
It is horrible.
You went completely robo there.
Yeah, it was like completely chopping off like crazy, man. Might have to use the thing.
Dude, I think you should move back to your old house. You had better internet.
600 ping.
Oh no, I'm on cell service. I don't know if that's better or worse.
It sounds
Or-
better.
Okay, now we're good? Okay, I guess it was just in a dead zone for like 2 seconds. Great.
Yeah, it may not be the best, but it's all right.
Probably marginally better in terms of ping. Are there any other topics, I guess, if we're done with this one?
Alright, let me read off what Draco typed up. From the sound of things, creating a Walfa's Gap network of sorts would take time to establish and refine, but it does bring the potential to reconnect the community in a way that was lost in the past. But in the process of doing this, the existing community, which is pretty much the wagon and the guild hall as it is, would need to change slightly to follow this change. We need to bury all the hatchets and come back together around the medium that brought us together in the first place. End goal being connect the community together, revise the guidelines to encourage posting works to where you, the creator, wants to, and show examples of creations from across the community. Does that sound like what you want to set in motion, Spaz?
Yes, and I added like basically all that, and especially burying the hatchets. Like we need an absolute no grudges policy, no going after people, no doxing, no harassments, no spreading rumors, no brigading, no witch hunts. Just if you have a problem with someone, just leave them be. If you have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
Either
It-
work it out in DMs or just try not to start things.
When you do find someone who will do something like that, notify someone. Notify us. Notify someone so that something can be done to prevent a
Disaster.
disaster.
I think
Yeah.
Draco summarizes it a lot better than that. Because in practice, absolutely no grudges. It was a lot harder than it actually just turns out to be. So probably just don't drag everyone else into your grudge if you have one, is probably just a better way to.
Agreed, whole freaking heartedly.
I still don't trust the guild hall, but whatever.
I would more
Leif?
so just shift that blame onto some
Bro, I'm
particular
right
group
here.
than the group itself, because in the end, it is just another Wolfus group.
Yeah, technically, Guildhall is like come
Yeah.
leaps and bounds.
I'll
I
believe that when
suppose
I see
so.
it.
If it just has like a couple of bad eggs, then so be it. It's a
Yeah.
Wolfus group.
Besides, the major issue is completely pinned off of DeviantArt.
Well, that's something.
Well, there's some delicious karma for you.
Easy.
Let's see.
If-
Still even want to be a mod.
If she left,
I
I say
think if
no.
Nora left, it's probably safe to assume that she no longer wants
Yeah.
to, even if she left without saying a word. It's, I mean, I don't mean to get personal here, but in my opinion, it's very unresponsible.
Yeah.
It's
She
just
hasn't
like,
said
yeah,
anything in like maybe 2 years, and then she just completely disappears.
people handle situations like this differently, and people sometimes just think just silently the best option, all things considered. Because if you basically make an announcement that you leave, people actually like pay a lot of attention to that. And sometimes you just want to leave silently.
I understand.
What's best said, effectively, demote but leave the door open is going to be just the
Yeah,
best option.
because even though she snuck out the back door, she still left on a good note. So, and she has like tons of admin experience, and for a while, she was the glue that held this place together. But she's also been through the same crap that I've been through with, funny enough, the same people. So it's understandable why she wouldn't be admitting at the moment. So I would say probably like demote for the meantime, but if she wants to come back, she can. And Nora, if you're listening, I hope you're doing okay. And if you ever want to come back, especially if we start reforming the place, you're always welcome.
As Adnan said, basically there wasn't much going on for her, so she probably isn't interested in admitting the DA group at all. And
Yeah.
she's doing perfectly fine.
We could
Like I
probably
said,
safely remove her from the group page anyway.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
as
so-
anything malicious, just you're not really wanting to do anything with this place, so let's just make it official.
basically.
And again, the door's always open.
If she
So-
does want to come back,
It's
then
not like
okay.
she's gonna be kicked out of the DA group.
Can I ask what's going on at the town hall?
Well, we were just ending this topic, so you don't really have to be caught up on.
Okay, sorry if I came in late. I was doing other stuff.
Let's see. With everything said about the Wolfus Gap Network, how about we go about setting things in motion? Because it currently is just us Wagoners and a few Guildhall representatives that are considering the idea. We need a good way to spread the word to the fringes of the community and make the objective clear and concise. And who would actually create the actual Wolfus Gap Network server? Given how Discord's permission system works, a server owner is required and all that.
I still think it would be better just to take a server that already kind of exists and do that, just because it already has the user base. That's just a me fault.
But the issue is, what if somebody is banned from said server?
Then that's a good point.
Oh, what is it, Omega Star?
Okay.
But the new founder's Emmy, someone who was banned here years ago. Yes, that is true.
Wait. I'm curious, but who's Emmy? Is
The
it
new
like
Guildhall founder.
Dream Defiance.
She was a member of the Walfa Station Wagon like a long time ago, but she was considerably less mature then than she is now.
They went by the
So
name
I
of Jackie, and they made several and they told several tall tales back then, and it's got her kicked out.
oof? Major
So I
respect.
would imagine it would be fine to just
Not talk about that?
no. In this case, it would be fine to just assuming what Spaz says is true, because this is all based on that big assumption and Spaz's observations. It's probably okay to let them back in. Probably.
Well, I'm not sure because there's still the other mods. Like I don't get the final say in this. It's they
Oh yeah.
have a say in it.
Hey, look, we have a moderator here right now. It's last like the last we got so moderating Guildhall. Leaf, this is your actual chance to speak.
Can you speak? I can barely hear you.
It's okay, Leaf. His ping is like fucking 700 right now. But this is your chance to speak about the situation regarding letting Emmy back in.
New Guildhall server owner.
Dream Defiance.
I'm still unsure about them. We can discuss this a bit more outside of this.
Well, I can already
Oh,
say
no,
even
Leaf.
here that they've become a lot more professional. I'll tell you that.
This is where I have a small issue with adapting an existing server into a Gap Network server. You bring with it previous bans and such. Yeah, they can be easily removed, but a new server provides a clean slate to start over.
And plus, a separate server would be neutral ground, so it would preferably be a place with no biases, and you'd only get kicked from that server if, like, you really, really messed up.
Yeah. That
So-
does make it a bit of a better option. It's just actually getting the word out that makes things a bit difficult in terms of that option. But I'd imagine if every single Walfa server had a chance to advertise it to some extent, then it would probably be okay.
My thought is if you make good enough content, then you advertise on your content, oh, I'm part of, I have the server and it's part of the SCAP network. Then people would want to flock to it anyway.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, what was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. So essentially, it'd be a server set with only a few channels advertising other server links, and no one can post.
Well, there is a small meta channel
I
that the
joke.
Gap has.
I joke, of course, but but however many channels it would have that actually includes the Discord server links, those would have to have comments disabled.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. Can I ask you all something?
Sure.
Okay. So do you all know this game? These like an indie developer by the name of Nitro.
Does it have any relevance to what's going on today here?
Yes, I mean it's about the Flash and HTML5 thing.
I don't think I've heard the name.
Hold on, I'll type it up. Maybe it can jog your memory.
Chrome. Does that have to do with E3ware? No.
Okay.
If I may for a moment,
Go ahead, Yuto.
regarding the Dream Defiant situation, Diz wanted me to relay the message that this should be more of a private matter, and
Yeah,
in
good
his
point.
personal opinion, the answer is no until further notice, until we can get something situated and decide on it unanimously.
That would probably be for the best, yeah.
Alright.
So basically, hard wait on that.
Can I continue what I was talking about?
I
Go
looked
on.
up the person. I don't really see how much they get for it.
That's not really currently being discussed, SCK. It's still something important that will be addressed in time, but for now, focus on the focus is the next step for the community as a whole.
Okay.
If you're suggesting that we host Wolfus on Nitrome, judging
No,
by
no,
what
no,
the
no, 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 no.
subject
I don't mean
is-
like putting Wolfus onto Nitrom. It's just that I'm saying that Nitrom actually made one of their previous Flash games known as Bad Ice Cream and made it into an HTML5 so it can be compatible with mobile devices.
And that's something we can kind of think about later, just not now. We
Okay.
actually
The
Yeah.
source code.
Thanks. So I'm gonna put my HTML5 Wolfus idea in another idea sometime later in the town hall. Are we good?
it's probably better to just. Were we actually going to discuss that today? I think it wasn't really on the docket. We just briefly mentioned it last.
It wasn't really
Sorry,
on the
it's
document.
just that I read the town hall minutes in Ort's journal about the town hall talking about continuing Wolfus and all that.
That was for the previous town hall. I know that much, but I think it's just better to continue what project you're currently on rather than relying on someone else personally, because you two are apparently working on Flash and into HTML5, correct? So probably best just to continue working on that and let us know about that project.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Purple. Okay. Shout out to Purple. Shout out to Purple Tenchi. Now I don't need to even talk about the HTML5 Wolfus idea and that part.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just that I got too overexcited about what Purple Tenchi just said in the voice chat at town hall.
This whole idea for the Wolfus Gap network is going to be slow to put into motion. I compare it to pushing a large boulder across the landscape. It needs a seasonable group to put that boulder into motion, and there are going to be ups and downs while the network's being established. But if we have enough people backing the idea, it will eventually succeed, provided we keep the original vision in mind the entire time. I personally am all for the idea of the Wolfus Gap network if we can start things off correctly, i.e. create a neutral location for the community as a whole to come together and reunite, if you will.
It may be best to have some sort of pre-discussion as a whole between all the groups. Gap now, Wolfus by ripping off of ourselves. So I think it might be a sort of better idea to just kind of discuss even the aspect of the name to try and get something more neutral set up.
Oh yeah. So
Resetting up the sort of relations the server will have anyway, so it works out for the best.
I kind of want to talk about this, about what Purple Tenchi said about like Flashpoint has created a Toho character. I'm curious about the part if we can download the customs like what we normally do for the EXE Wolfus some of us have, and place it onto the Flashpoint one. Or is it required that we have to change Swift to EXE in order to be doing that?
Well, there's also some folks who've been thinking about just making a whole new program that could be a successor to Wolfus. Like
Oh
it would
yeah.
be the same
Go on,
basic
Spaz.
idea, but more modular.
Oh yeah, Spaz. So you know
Yes.
how you said it that you were talking about some people finding a successor to Wolfus?
Yep.
So do you guys remember Homura Akemi of Komakan?
Yes.
Homura Akemi of Komakan just said this in my Toho Tells Gacha Life opening video that he's assuming that. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna bring up my video and it's in the comment section and he says, quote unquote, sometimes I wonder if Gacha Life would be a successor of Wolfus Crate X.Swift when the latter will become enough outdated and unsupported. I see it's at least having enough features to be able to be used to create the scenes of similar complexity. I think the last part he was referring to the part of my animation. But there could be something similar about the Gacha Life thing instead of the whole thing with how many people are just like feeling about Gacha Life. But instead it's kind of like in a character creation kind of way.
Well, from what I've seen of Gacha Life, I don't think it has the flexibility of Create.Swift from just what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Moving to a new medium isn't really the answer.
Okay.
Future of Wolfus, not the future of, well,
Something that could replace Wolfus. Yeah.
Gacha Life.
Okay, good point.
Basically paper doll kind of things in general.
Yes, exactly.
I know, Draco. I'm just like putting up an example of the comments, but instead we got to think of something else, like something similar to Wolfus, but not like similar to Gacha Life or anything like that. I've just like popped up one of my videos as an example of what I remember one of the commenters said.
It's okay, we got you.
Thank you very much, Spaz.
Toho doll makers can just be its own different subgenre. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
Oops.
Okay, so sorry about that.
Well, let's see, where were we?
Aren't we talking about the future of Wolfus?
Well, luckily there's still like Flash Swift player, so even if Flash is outdated on websites, you can still run it within the program. And has anyone heard from RSG in a while?
No. I'm honestly not sure what he's doing these days. Wolfus Wisdom should still be at the heart of it, and the community will hopefully be able to keep the medium alive by reconnecting and combining efforts.
Yep.
And Double Post.
Also, if RSG isn't around, like, if RSG doesn't have time or if he's not available, could it be possible for somebody else to continue modding it? Create X, I mean?
Thiefer, am I saying it correct?
Oh, he said he would.
Gave up on that. Yeah.
Didn't RSG lose the source code actually?
I know that the project for Wolfus Extended was kept on a drive that failed. I'm not.
So he would lose the source code, yes.
So do we not have the source code anymore? Wait, Spaz, do
Well,
you
technically,
still have it?
we still do have the just the general create .swift source code, but we just need someone to actually do something with it. I think he was able to like decompile it and make something working out of it.
You recover the data, but it's a very early version. Yeah, and that setback was what made him give up.
I mean, if RSG was still around, I want to ask him a question. If we download the HTML5 offline, can we still do our custom characters like we usually do?
I would imagine that because it's directly linked in terms of just importing your own material, it should just be on your hard drive, so it should. Like, as long as it doesn't have to communicate with any particular server, you should still be.
All right, thanks. Because I still have the crate.exe onto my computer.
I just had an idea, something that combines the previous thing we discussed in the Gotcha Life, but with actual Walfus. What if we were to just rebuild create.swift itself into like an entirely like just the code from the ground up?
Oh,
And
It's ambitious, but it could be possible.
The Linux operating system started out being made by one man, but then that man made it publicly available and invited others to come and improve it. I see Wolf is going in a similar direction to that with projects started by Ferdy and myself, Draco. To what Spaz said, continuing development on CreateX is still a valid idea. Perhaps others that were trusted with the source code aid RSG in making up lost ground as a stopgap measure while the project started by Ferdy and I is being worked on.
Yeah.
I think I remember. I think I saw it from a GIF on DeviantArt about like Reimu shooting the bullets and also walking that stuff. Oh wait, I think the part where Reimu walking was from when I found it on Ferdy's Twitter. If I'm correct. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, this would if we had like a version of CreateX or CreateX2 or whatever you want to call it, and it allowed like user plugins, then we would have like all the additional stuff we need to keep create.swift going pretty much forever. People could add like a lighting plugin similar to what CreateX has, or somebody could program in an advanced animation tool, or have SVGs for new Toho characters as they come out.
Yeah, I was actually thinking
requesting to plug his project a little bit.
Yes, please, definitely.
Agreed with Spastic, ladies
The
and
beginning of
gentlemen.
the projects and announcements then.
Probably an unofficial bit. But it relates to the topic, to the current topic at hand.
Yeah.
What should I say? Oh, about the. I think I misheard what Spastic said about the whole like plugin thing. It just brought up my mind about this fan game known as Mega Man Maker, and there's this function where.
Thank you. That'll be enough.
Well, when I say plugins, I mean like in the GNU image manipulator program GIMP, users can add their own filters and whatnot. So in this case, you would be able to do that with create.swift. I think it'd be best to like.
It would be like absolutely 100% ideal in that case once the HTML5 port is complete, because HTML is probably way easier to work with than Swift file will be. Like, way easier.
We get it.
I probably will.
Exactly.
Well, my thought is it is possible to go on a tangent, but only if you bring up the point as quickly as possible relating to the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an understandable one.
Like if you bring up the point first, then the comparison, rather than us having to wait like 5 minutes to get to the point from the comparison, then things get.
Like I would probably word it like say two people want to work on a Walfus project in the same way two people in Mario Maker can make a Mario level together. You can make a plugin for that.
Yeah. Co-op Walfus PogChamp.
Actually, that wouldn't be half bad. Though right now it is possible though if you have like one of those remote network thingamabobs like TeamViewer or whatever, and give over remote access, you could work on a Walfus project that way.
Parsec Gaming for Walfus.
Interesting, but has a lot of potential for abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just do that between friends if you really want to work on a project. Don't trust random strangers with VM or with Virtual Workstation X.
Yeah, only people you know. Or it's STA was wondering if they could be unmuted. Wait, is Ort there?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just
Okay,
asking
STK
something.
was. Okay.
All right, but do keep in mind what the topic is about. If you want to make a comparison, try to make your point quickly instead of the comparison first and then the point. It can take a bit of trial and error, but try to think of the point first and then the comparison.
Alright. So you know how Spestique said that strangers can that you don't want strangers to come like work on a Walfus project
Yes.
with you?
Well, actually, you
I
could use
just
an
thought of
invite code for
this
that.
other idea.
Something
I just
to
thought of this other idea.
Hmm?
Like similar to the other, similar to like a variety of other games. Maybe there should be like a password in it.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
Well, it
what
just
we
said
did.
exactly
invite
my
code.
point, Cry. Yeah, Cryotic knows what I was talking about.
That you'd only give to your friends anyway, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you wouldn't make your machine open access to literally anyone. You'd give someone a password. That's the entire principle.
Yeah, because if
But right now-
if you see, go on, Spaz.
I was saying right now, though, this kind of is just in the realm of the theoretical. It's just brainstorming ideas. We have to actually get the thing going first.
Oops.
Yeah, so now let me
I think I just escalated Create.Swift into create more.
To be fair, other people were trying to bounce ideas beforehand, I think.
Yeah, we've been trying for years to figure out something like this. So
Draco is typing up a wall. Before I say let's move on to the next topic, I want to see Draco's wall.
Yeah.
And of course, either Yuto or Ort will
Well,
be reading the wall of
well,
words by Draco.
Well, minor question. Let's see. How many? A few features I think might be beneficial for Walfus going forward would at least be a better animator. And that was partly inspired by the old Mario Paint, and that also got me thinking, what if you threw in other functions as well?
Like making music and such.
I did think of music, but I was also wondering who would this be for? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There's the
Oh,
wall.
dear. Our project is
Sorry,
being
I'm
called
just too
Wolfus
excited.
Studio by Ferdy and myself. The goal is to rebuild Wolfus from the ground up in an application that runs natively on all 3 major operating systems, Windows, Mac, and Linux, and plans to bring it to mobile platforms in a best-case scenario. We're still in our early stages with the project as we iron out a lot of the core functionality. Once we reach a point Ferdy and I deem stable, we'll make the project public and allow for the community to aid in the rebuilding efforts. We're keeping legality in mind and are thinking of licensing Wolfus Studio under the GPL2 license, which means no monetary gain can be made from it. Once open source, it is always open source. The features Ferdy and I have planned are roughly as follows. These are subject to change as the project develops. Keep that in mind. Faithfully recreate the original Create.Swift look and feel. There are still people that like the original and don't want to alienate those few. Create an overhauled UI and UX, user interface and user experience, for that original experience that offers quality of life changes, refinements to the system, and new additions. The main addition that's planned to be added after the core functionality is rebuild is Studio Mode, hence the name. Studio Mode is going to be a built-in animation suite that allows you to create animations within the software itself instead of external software. I won't say much more about this for now because that's not the main focus right now. That's recreating the base experience. If you have any questions regarding the project, please direct them to me. I'm acting as PR for the project currently. That took a bit to
That's
type
what I
up.
was going
Yeah,
to say about the whole
Oh
anime.
yeah.
I expected
Speaking of
such.
questions, I do have one
Let me
question
finish
for
first.
Draco
Oh.
about the Wolfus Studio project.
I was going to say about the whole animation thing, that should be low priority just because, well, it's going to take a lot of time to actually make an animation suite. I'm not exactly a programmer of HTML5 or Flash in general. I'm just saying, well, it's going to take a while in order to actually do something like that. So for now, just stick to working on the basic features and actually getting those functional. Then
Well,
later,
that's what he said.
We're already
Yeah, I'm just
past
sort of
planet.
seconding that idea.
Wow,
Sorry.
we've exceeded
Sorry.
2 hours.
Sorry,
We're 2
sorry
hours.
about the
Oh,
Wagoners.
it's actually one. Oh, the recording is close to 2 hours. Okay, I see. But yeah. Dropping.
But if
back
all
into
goes well,
city.
this sounds great.
I mean, if it's fully released, then I would love to share it to my friends. Because I know I have a couple of friends of mine want to use Wolfus as well.
Well, that sounds great.
It may
I
be a
don't
possibility I might return.
I don't mean any sarcasm there. Part of why I did bring up Mario Paint there was the idea of being able to to change and colorize existing assets. But that would require a massive undertaking to implement and have working.
Oh, actually, that's kind of an idea. What if you could make your own backgrounds in it? and
Ooh, like a draw tool.
Yeah, like a draw tool, and you could save it as a Swift file in the program.
I love the idea. Oh my goodness.
Interesting.
Yeah, nice.
You got me too much hype.
If we did something like that,
I'm on a hype train, like Yukari using the portal to call in the train. That's my hype train mood right now.
I know it'd be difficult to implement because honestly, any drawing program is difficult to code, but it'd be a good substitute, really, for like per se, using Inkscape, maybe.
How so?
Oh, I have another suggestion. What about Paint.net or GIMP?
Well, the reason why I mentioned Inkscape is because it is vector-based, and vectors are a pretty integral part of Flash creations.
And they are what all the objects in Create.Swift are made of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking would be like the most complicated part about creating such a thing. It's either you have to draw everything and have some sort of handler actually convert it to SVG so that you can actually store, or I mean, technically you can use Ping, but why would you use Ping? Or actually make it just an SVG editor and have the sharp learning curve of said SVG editor. The Paint.net suggestion, I'm guessing, is only really used because of said curved lines, which in turn are somewhat vector-based. They're just stroke. That's it.
Hype aside, let's reel it back in. I didn't want to derail a whole town hall, just provide information about our plans.
Sorry.
No
Yeah,
problems.
SVGs
Very good.
don't actually have artifacts when you zoom in because they're just vectors. So whatever the render image says, whether it's like normal scale, 5% scale, 5,000% scale, it doesn't matter. It's all vectors. They're just magnified by that scalar. There you
Is it possible
yeah,
for the
let's actually-
vectors to move out of phase, though, at a certain point?
I mean, if you've ever actually decided, for literally no particular reason except because it's funny, to like zoom into a character in Wolfus and set their scale to 5,000, you notice that it
Jeez.
actually it's just a single color because that's what the fill command for that particular region that happened to get zoomed into is.
Yeah, because a vector is just math. It's telling the program to draw it on a specific curve, hence the term vector.
I kind of want to say like it just there's this program called Scratch, and Scratch has a vector editor, and that just brought up my mind, and I don't even know how Ort would react to when I say that.
Yeah, I don't know about switching over to Scratch. Maybe if its source code is available, you could probably just squint at it, but that's really the only thing I'd say you could do with it. Anyways, are we moving on to the next topic, I guess? Because we've basically discussed a fair bit about this now. But
Yeah. I'd say it's a good call to move on.
are there any other topics that probably need discussing before I inevitably yell about projects and announcements in the community channel for like the 10th time?
I have nothing personally. Does anybody else have an idea of what we could discuss that may be integral to the group?
Not that I
I'm
know
not
of.
sure. I guess we can make a quick summation then.
Oh yeah, so
We-
about the
We
Wolf's
plan
thing?
to. We have the idea to have all our media uploads on Pixiv, and mainly
But
be
still-
here on the Discord with a bot acting in between. A GitHub repository for Wolf's assets, such as your props. And
oh yeah.
would that be necessary?
Oh, okay, so I
Yeah,
listened
with
to it.
the GAT network idea? I'm not sure. And then there's the idea of creating a more decentralized network to connect the community
it's-
together. Is that pretty much correct?
Yep, though it's still a work in
Sounds-
progress.
Van...
All right then.
Well, there's the summary. If we're going to be bringing the community back together and enforcing posting where you want, then having a central posting area kind of goes back on that. It doesn't make sense to set up a central little system if we end up going back on it up team months later.
Yeah, central posting here. So overall, the discussion was basically just create a new server, have that be the central hub. There you go, and make sure
Okay.
to actually like advertise and all that. So I guess if there are absolutely no other discussions, we can move on to projects and announcements.
Yes, Vanilla Niski.
This was related to something that I was talking about in the town hall main chat. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Please don't.
Sorry.
Their Pixiv is more in NSFW than their other account.
Do keep
Oh.
in mind that NSFW, not safe for work, links and images to things like pornography or sexual content are not
My
permitted in
humble
this.
apologies.
Fortunately, nothing
just that
showed up, but still, their main account is more open about what they're into than what he usually
Wolf
posts on
account.
his DeviantArt.
Or that one, yes.
Well, I do want to say that that Vanilla did make a Waffus comic account on Pixiv.
I'm sorry. What's the point here? What point do you want to make?
Well, I'm just curious about how the last town hall we talked about the Waffus like original work type thing. Vanilla has made like some customs based on Love Live characters, and then
It's just as easy as making a Pixiv account and just using that for Wolf's content. There isn't really any hoops to
Yeah.
jump through about.
okay, thanks. It just brought up my mind about the previous town hall we
figured-
talked about, and
STK, if it
discussed that
makes you
earlier.
feel any better, we were going to get most everyone situated with the actual site itself.
sorry. Okay.
We will explain
very sorry.
how to use it and how it works in time. Just right now, hold on to those concerns while we let others advertise for whatever projects they want to announce.
And I'll take onto my laptop.
If literally anyone has a project or an announcement that they actually want to talk about, please say I in the chat in some form. I don't care what form it is, as long as we can understand.
Sorry. I just
Bye, Omegastar.
later, Megastar.
Wow, literally only 2 people. I'm impressed. We should just use the community channel more.
Admittedly, I
the
forget
last-
it's up there as well.
I mean, the
Do
last
we have
town hall was the first one I ever joined.
like literally anyone else, or is it just 2 people?
Seems to just be 2 people.
I want to give Draco a question about the Waffus Studio. Like, you know how there's
Is
like,
that a project or an announcement?
Yeah, he said
Okay,
do it
thank you,
after
Draco.
town hall.
If you have,
I'm
I
just-
say if
my
you have
head is
questions,
crammed with questions right now.
if you have questions, I say
Then
leave it
I'd
for
recommend
afterwards.
asking the guy
Thank
in
you very
DM.
much, Spaz.
If you
Just
have, like,
PM
5 really-
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just DM. Easy.
But wait. Can I?
He's the best one who can answer. It's not really that well suited for town hall if you have questions about that particular project in general until it gets brought up again in a future town hall. So for now, just settle with DMing. That's probably your best bet.
While you guys work on the projects and announcements, I will be right back. Have fun shooting, trying to promote the Inevitably Failing Projects channel. I'm so sorry it doesn't.
Don't worry, I'm not going to promote the community channel this time. Just angrily rant about it. I'm joking. I'm not actually going to use that as my project announcement thing because it's related to something else someone else has done and they asked me to actually share it.
All right. Thanks.
So, I guess I'm literally the one person who has a project and or announcement? Okay.
Oh, I also said I too.
Do you actually have a project and or announcement?
Yes, I do have a project.
Oh,
like-
okay.
Like some projects.
Under normal circumstances, we'd ask for a journal, but in this case, you can probably just type a synopsis as you're talking, and it would probably be okay, because DA is dead.
Mhm.
Essentially,
Okay, so
Okay, go on.
you want to hear my projects I'm working on?
Yes.
So I have like this one project I'm working on that's based on what I had experience with, and I'm currently working on that project right now. And then after I finish that project, I'm working on Toho Tales episode 10.
Okay.
All right.
I would
That's-
love more explanation about what said project is about because right now, like usually, like I said, because this is like the second town hall in like a year. But essentially, how it used to work is we basically asked for someone to actually have a journal detailing what the project is, etc., already written out before they actually could even submit the project in the first place. It was basically a lot more quote unquote formal.
All right.
But
So can I talk to you what Toho Hotels is?
what about the project before that? Because you said
Oh, the project before that. The
really
project before
vague.
that was basically like a storyboard featuring my new character Beatrice after I explore another part of the outside world, and it was from Borf. Are you familiar with Hyperdimension Neptunia?
Vaguely.
Oh, okay. So Blonde from Hyperdimension Neptunia gets upset at me for watching a lot of videos for very long, and so I got mad at her, and then I ran out of the house, and everybody's just like talking about me, and Blonde just tells everybody that I've left because I got so upset at something. Now can I talk about Toho Hotels?
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay, go ahead.
okay, hold on. Can I pop up a playlist of Toho Hotels?
No.
Okay, fine by me. Anywho, so Toho Hotels is basically an animated series where me and my other character cast entered a Gensokyo hotel, which is not canon in the Gensokyo universe by Zun because it's fan made. And the story is basically like plotless, like Lucky Star, except it's more of a hotel instead of a school setting.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, feel free to watch them if you have the time. It's still on my YouTube channel, just to let you know.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
And that's it.
okay,
Those
that
are all
was
my working projects right now.
a project. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Anyways, before I actually speak, because I have actually a little script that I'm going to completely ignore and just say whatever I want. Or other projects and announcements that I should be aware of from literally anyone. Like it's been like a month. You've had to have something.
Nah, we really don't.
Oh, okay, then that's depressing. Anyways, let me find the darn script because I reposted on Discord because it was in a text file, and quite obviously I'm not on a computer right now, so I have to actually repost.
I'm still in recovery mode, so might be a while before I finally get back to Wrath of the Amanajaku. But the first draft script is still up if anyone wants to preview it.
I would be happy
Okay.
to read it, Spaz.
All right. Well, I'll post the link. It's not really much of a new announcement, but if you guys want to see basically the equivalent of a Avengers style Toho story, then let me get the link.
Okie dokie.
Sure.
And it also contains, I think it should contain a link to the Wrath of the Amanajaku Discord, but it hasn't been active in months.
Oh.
Whatever works.
I did have something I thought of last night, but I don't think it's announcement worthy. Or at least not yet.
I mean, you can go ahead and just pitch the idea, I guess, when Spaz is done. Why not?
Okay, to make a long story short, because I feel like being active in some capacity, I thought about making a proper comic about how my two characters met, because I briefly touched touched up on it in a Q&A once, and I felt like, what's the word for it? Elaborating more? Oh well, something like that. Yeah, expanding on that.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, there's something. So yeah, that's something brief,
It's brief, but it works.
and it didn't take 20 goddamn minutes.
Spaz script. Because you literally just posted that in Town Hall 2 seconds
There
ago.
be script.
Yeah, it's got the dialogue, though we're still like working on making a few edits here and there. Like I was having a thing where Seija would like use a gap to get to the human village, but it accidentally opens up to Lunarian Palace. It's like, holy shit, it's a yokai! It would be to cover up a plot hole in the current draft that where it's like, why doesn't Seija just go to the human village? So that'll fix that. But yeah, the current draft is it's a full plot. It just there's no art in it, or at least not much art.
Actually, I'm just gonna be like right back. That's part of the reason why I'm just sort of procrastinating on my thing, because I knew I had to leave like really soon for like 2 minutes. So
Oh. hope, hope we see you back soon.
Oh yeah, another thing about it is a PG comic, so it's completely safe for work.
Sweet. I mean, a lot of my YouTube videos are actually suitable for work as well.
Well, see ya, Jeff.
See it.
There we go.
Where's everyone? Yeah.
I have returned.
Oh, welcome back.
Welcome back, Yuta.
And I believe we're waiting on Shun.
Spoon, where are you? Get over here. Get your ass over here.
I don't know what it was that he had to walk away for. The spoon needs to come back to the silverware cabinet.
Oh yes, that's sick. I did read your
I'm so
Wrath
sorry.
of the Amano-Deku. It was great. 10 out of 10.
Like the full script?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
I return.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Spoon.
Leave.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, now I can actually finally actually read this darn script. Okay, where did I? Oh yes, I put it on my dead bots DMs. Of course, I put it here. Let me separate. There are a couple links, so I'm just going to separate them for the main thing so I can copy paste. All right. I should be ready to read this. Anyway,
I hate
because he actually very recently, as part of a huge Western sort of fan game team, completed an actual pretty big project that took like a couple of years to develop. It's a full-blown Toho fan game, and it's actually fun because I very rarely play literally any fan, so that should probably tell you literally everything. But this game is called Servants of Harvest Wish, and I'm just going to literally explain them later.
Yeah.
Alright, there are a fair number of links to go through, but I'll go through them like one at a time. First, of course, there's the wiki article. The wiki article is fairly obvious, gives you wiki information. There's also like 2 download links, because Preem is more of a Japanese-based site and Bullet Forge is more of a Western-based site, but yeah. Anyways, I'm actually going to read off the script now. And ignore it. Anyways, basic plot synopsis is, as you can probably guess from the name Harvest Wish, all the crops basically just decided to die for no reason before harvest season, which means that everyone in the human village is gonna starve. So you have 3 protagonists. You can probably guess who they are. And 1 new protagonist, who does not appear in the game anywhere else. For the record, the new protagonist, Yoko, is my favorite because of her obsession with wheat and bread, and she gets angry at everyone for no reason, and that's great. I love it.
So, what is this about?
It's, like I said, that's basically the whole plot synopsis. It's essentially a fan game based around that synopsis, about the fact that the harvest is basically dead, and you have to actually solve the incident and restore the harvest back to normal.
So basically, this is the Irish potato famine if it were a beat 'em up, shoot 'em up game thing with
Yes,
fucking cute
except
girls.
instead of potatoes, you have wheat. But yeah.
That's cool.
However, it's actually...
And are the protagonists Reimu and Marissa as usual?
And Sanai, yes, as well as that 4th protagonist, Bread Dragon Girl, that I mentioned. Relevance because she's technically a baker in the human village. Do not ask how a dragon became a baker in the human village. I guess she just hides the tail.
That's pretty interesting. Might have to try it out sometime.
But not only the premise is interesting, the gameplay is actually pretty good, because not only do you have the class types, you have the classic 6-stage formula, as well as the extra stage. There's also a fair bit of interesting sort of post-game content because of a new system called the Anomaly System. In your second playthrough of the game, or your first playthrough of the extra stage in my case, because I did it by complete accident one time, which might not be intended because I was never able to replicate it since, but you can ask for completely different spell cards in their entirety for each mid-boss and boss by triggering specific conditions in the game, or in the stage in particular. I have still yet to beat the extra boss of this game, but apparently that anomaly is extremely difficult to actually unlock because of how convoluted it is. But
please
the
cover your
music is
mouth
also...
when you sneeze.
The music is also a bop. The system behind the game, also known as the Harvest system, Harvest Wish, very funny, is actually very good for scoring and resource gathering in my experience. Like, I've actually rounded around a scoring system in the game. And my suffering. But music's great, system's great. I actually quite enjoy the game, so that explains why I'm actually advertising. There's also a fundraiser link that you can actually see there too, because the developers have actually opened a small little donation box. It will go straight to Doctors Without Borders, which will help aid in the research of COVID-19. It's a completely free game, so don't worry about that, but you can donate as much as you want to said fundraiser.
Nice.
In addition to that, you have a chance to win a hard copy of the game as well as a Ryoko wall scroll. If you see a masked girl in the game, that is Ryoko. I think she's like kind of the mascot of the game at this point. But yeah, so you have a chance to win something too if you donate, so that's pretty cool. So
Thank you for the very excellent details in a review, Chun.
yeah, thanks. The
Gotta
dev
be-
team
gotta-
hopes the game inspires you to play more Toho fan games like this one that other people have made as well. So feedback is appreciated to the dev team as well. So yeah, Adam's in the server if you want to yell at him for literally anything that you say.
I think it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, this has been a pretty anticipated fan game as far as I'm aware, and even I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah,
I
it's
rarely
been
ever
like
play fan games, so this is definitely worth a shot.
yeah, it's been like a 2 to 3 year worth endeavor, and it's like one of the fan games I've actually had fun with over recent years. So, also, I'd like to say that the death bomb window in this game is far more generous. So, if you're sort of a beginner, it's actually better for you to get the grasp if you're needed to. The harvest system, in essence, is semi-similar to PCB's border system in that you can actually cancel the border with a bomb. Depending on how many harvest points you've managed to collect during it, you can actually get a sort of bigger bomb. So there's also one other thing that I think I'm forgetting to mention, but oh yeah, the difficulty curve in this game is actually really, really good. There's always been a difficulty spike in literally every fan game I've played, but not this one. It's far smoother, actually, at least on normal. So yeah, that's basically my entire announcement.
Finally, a difficulty curve for casuals like me!
I'm a
Yes.
casual too.
Same.
Hey, I played Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, got past Rumia without continues, couldn't beat Churno without continues.
On my first playthrough of the game that managed to get past stage 3, I managed to actually one CC it. So that should show you how good the difficulty curve is, as well as the resource collection. If you can milk that harvest system and get like all the bombs, you're basic. By the way, extends are based on point item collection, so
Zune needs to bring back that system, change my mind.
I will not change your mind because it's semi the truth.
Why does it bring up my mind about the picture what Orta did with Zen holding? I'm thinking it was a beer.
I mean, that's
That's
basically
changed my
the
mind.
internet. But, oh well. Anyways, are there any other projects and announcements to discuss that somehow popped into people's minds immediately after I said I would be the last one?
No, I'm good.
No, not for me. I just already explained mine.
Alright, then I guess that's actually it. Cool. So I guess
Yay.
we're done here, unless there's any super pressing topics, but I don't think there are. We should have already discussed everything. So
I mean, if there's anything I want to mention, Zune's putting up 3 more games on Steam. So if you want to give him
Oh,
your money for some extra beer, go on ahead. But I don't know because there's arguably some of the worst ones in this series.
Oh my.
I mean, UFO's scoring system is pretty dope. Like, as long as you can get past the fact that it will always change to the exact opposite color that you want at the exact time that you need it to. Like, just from watching UFO scoring system, I actually quite enjoy it. So, UFO is arguably one of the better ones, I think, just in my opinion. As long as you get past the extreme difficulty, then you're set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if that's everything, then I guess we can kind of end off the town hall.
Yay.
I'm down for that.
Thank you for joining us,
you for-
everyone. And
Yeah, thank you for
can-
joining us in today's town hall. Be sure to wash your hands and practice sanitation to all the necessary precautions as well. And just I swear to God, if you go outside, I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna beat your ass. And then I'm
That
gonna soak
wouldn't
you in
be
hand
social
sanitizer.
distancing, though.
I take my dog out for a walk sometimes, and I always wear a mask.
Anyways,
wear a
thanks for
mask. Yeah,
joining
good.
us. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you all next town hall. Till then, goodbye and take care of yourselves out there.